He's got the whole world in his hands. He got the whole world. I'm just sitting here on my porch just looking. I'm looking to the hills from whence cometh my help. For my help, some of y'all know the rest. I just wanted to come on and just tell everybody, just be as calm as you can.
A staggering $260 million lawsuit, lodged on June 13, 2025, in Los Angeles Superior Court, has sent ripples through the entertainment world, accusing Tyler Perry, the acclaimed filmmaker and media titan, of sexual assault and harassment. The plaintiff, Derek Dixon, an actor from Perry's bet series The Oval, alleges a sustained pattern of manipulative and predatory behavior, claiming Perry exploited his industry dominance to coerce and abuse him over multiple years. Drawing parallels to scandals involving figures like Harvey Weinstein and Sean Diddy Combs, the case has sparked intense debate about power dynamics in Hollywood. This video examines the allegations, Perry's defense, and the potential repercussions. In September 2019, Derek Dixon, an aspiring actor employed by an event company, attended the glamorous grand opening of Tyler Perry Studios in Atlanta, a landmark moment for Black Hollywood. According to the lawsuit filed on June 13, 2025, Perry, the studio's revered founder, singled Dixon out with calculated charisma, requesting his contact details and hinting at a potential acting role. For Dixon, this interaction seemed like a golden ticket into an industry where Perry's influence as a filmmaker and producer was unmatched. The complaint alleges this encounter laid the foundation for a predatory dynamic. Perry's promises of fame, including possible roles in projects like The Oval, allegedly carried implicit demands. Dixon claims Perry preyed on his inexperience, creating a scenario where career opportunities were tied to personal acquiescence. What began as a seemingly routine exchange of contact information reportedly evolved into a coercive power imbalance, with Perry's overtures blending professional guidance with personal advances, ensnaring Dixon in a manipulative web that set the stage for the troubling incidents detailed in the lawsuit. In January 2020, mere months after their first meeting, Dixon alleges in his $260 million lawsuit that Perry invited him to his expansive Atlanta home under the guise of a friendly visit. The complaint, filed on June 13, 2025, describes an evening that started cordially but turned menacing as excessive drinking took hold. Feeling impaired and unable to drive, Dixon accepted Perry's offer to spend the night in a guest room, perceiving it as a hospitable gesture from the powerful filmmaker. The lawsuit recounts a disturbing incident that allegedly occurred in the early morning hours. Dixon claims he awoke to find Perry, uninvited, slipping into his bed and touching his inner thighs in a sexually suggestive manner. Stunned and disoriented from alcohol, Dixon says he rebuffed Perry, clearly stating his discomfort and lack of interest in sexual advances. Yet, the complaint alleges Perry persisted, exuding an air of entitlement that highlighted the stark power disparity between the industry giant and the fledgling actor. Dixon claims this assault marked a turning point, followed by suggestive text messages that intensified Perry's pursuit in the weeks that followed, deepening the coercive dynamic. Following the alleged 2020 assault, Dixon's career took a significant turn when he landed the role of Dale, a series regular on Perry's bet drama The Oval. The lawsuit, filed on June 13, 2025, portrays this casting as a calculated maneuver in Perry's coercive strategy. Dixon alleges Perry used the role to tighten his control, exploiting Dixon's ambition to ensure compliance. The complaint claims Perry made it clear that Dixon's continued success on the show depended on maintaining a relationship, a term Dixon understood as submission to Perry's advances. According to the lawsuit, Perry, as the show's creator and producer, explicitly threatened to eliminate Dixon's character, Dale, if he resisted. This threat instilled a constant fear that Dixon's role could be terminated abruptly. The complaint frames the casting not as a merit-based achievement but as a manipulative quid pro quo, where professional rewards were contingent on personal compliance. This dynamic allegedly tainted Dixon's experience on The Oval, with Perry's influence casting a shadow over his career. The lawsuit details a barrage of sexually explicit text messages allegedly sent by Perry, which Dixon claims intensified as his role on The Oval grew. Filed on June 13, 2025, the complaint includes screenshots of messages described as relentless and overt. One alleged text from Perry states, "No straight guy would walk with you or cook for you unless they wanted to sleep with you. I'd sleep with you," explicitly signaling sexual intent. Another reportedly asks, "What's it gonna take for you to have no strings attached sex?" These messages, spanning years, allegedly created a hostile work environment, blurring professional boundaries. Dixon claims Perry leveraged his career dependency to pressure him, with the messages growing bolder as Dixon's prominence on the Oval increased. The lawsuit portrays these communications as a deliberate tactic to wear down Dixon's resistance, exploiting the power imbalance between the media mogul and the aspiring actor. The persistent texts allegedly left Dixon feeling trapped, fearing that rejecting Perry could jeopardize his role and career. In June 2021, Dixon alleges a second assault occurred at Perry's Atlanta home, further escalating the disturbing pattern outlined in the $260 million lawsuit. Staying in the guest house after a professional visit, Dixon claims Perry approached him under the pretense of offering a friendly, goodnight embrace. According to the complaint, this gesture turned predatory when Perry allegedly pulled down Dixon's underwear and aggressively groped his buttocks in a sexual manner. The lawsuit describes Dixon as exposed, shocked, and gripped by intense fear, overwhelmed by the violation and the vast power disparity between himself and Perry. This incident, Dixon alleges, deepened the trauma from the 2020 assault, compounded by the fear of jeopardizing his role on the Oval. The lawsuit suggests Perry exploited this vulnerability, using his authority to silence Dixon. The guest house assault, described as a bold violation, underscored the coercive dynamic that allegedly trapped Dixon, leaving him grappling with shame and anxiety, fearful that resistance could derail his fledgling career. The lawsuit claims Perry's harassment extended beyond physical and verbal advances, manifesting in professional retaliation that amplified Dixon's distress. The complaint alleges Perry explicitly threatened to write Dixon's character, Dale, off the Oval if he ignored the mogul's suggestive overtures. This threat became reality when, at the end of the show's first season, Dale was shot 4 times in a dramatic plot twist, which Dixon believes was a deliberate warning. The $260 million lawsuit details how this instilled a pervasive fear, tying Dixon's job security to compliance. Dixon reports severe emotional consequences, including depression, anxiety, and a PTSD diagnosis, which he attributes to Perry's alleged actions. The constant pressure of navigating a hostile work environment left Dixon in a state of perpetual unease. In 2023, seeking escape, Dixon relocated to Los Angeles, hoping distance would end the harassment. However, the lawsuit claims Perry's suggestive messages continued, following Dixon across state lines, further derailing his mental health and career trajectory. The lawsuit accuses Perry of using Dixon's script, losing it, as a tool to maintain control. Filed on June 13, 2025, the complaint alleges Perry purchased the rights to Dixon's pilot but had no intention of producing it, instead using it as leverage to ensure compliance. Following the alleged 2021 assault, Perry reportedly apologized, attributing his behavior to alcohol and medication, and promised to produce losing it as a conciliatory gesture. Dixon now views this as a deceptive tactic to silence him. The complaint portrays this promise as a manipulative quid pro quo, exploiting Dixon's ambitions to bind him to Perry's influence. Perry allegedly secured Dixon a salary increase for the Oval, a financial incentive that deepened Dixon's reliance on the mogul. The lawsuit argues this was a calculated move to ensure silence about the assaults, leaving Dixon feeling trapped as his career aspirations were weaponized against him. In June 2024, Dixon filed a sexual harassment complaint with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, EEOC, against Perry and TPS Production Services, as outlined in the $260 million lawsuit. The complaint alleges TPS failed to investigate or address Dixon's claims, allowing the hostile environment to persist. Overwhelmed, Dixon planned to resign from the Oval, but Perry allegedly persuaded him to take a medical leave instead, framing it as a way to protect his career. This reprieve was short-lived. Dixon claims Perry terminated his contract in retaliation for the EEOC complaint, costing him nearly $400,000 in lost wages. The lawsuit portrays this as a deliberate act to punish Dixon for speaking out, reinforcing the power imbalance. TPS's failure to act, coupled with Perry's alleged retaliation, left Dixon feeling betrayed, his efforts to seek justice met with professional consequences. Through his attorney, Matthew Boyd, Tyler Perry has vehemently denied the allegations in Dixon's $260 million lawsuit, filed on June 13, 2025, calling it a scam, and labeling Dixon's claims as fabricated. Boyd asserts Dixon orchestrated a scheme to exploit Perry's prominence for financial gain, targeting the filmmaker behind the Madea franchise in Tyler Perry Studios. Perry's team insists the mogul, a cornerstone of Black Hollywood, will not succumb to extortion and is confident the lawsuit will unravel in court. The defense highlights Perry's legacy as a trailblazer who has championed countless creatives, arguing that Dixon's accusations are inconsistent with his character. Boyd claims the alleged text messages and incidents are either fabricated or misinterpreted, framing the lawsuit as an attempt to tarnish Perry's reputation. Perry's camp vows to fight the claims aggressively, asserting that the truth will prevail in court, polarizing public opinion as supporters defend Perry while others question whether his influence could shield him from accountability. Dixon's $260 million lawsuit draws striking parallels to Hollywood scandals involving figures like Harvey Weinstein and R. Kelly, accusing Perry of exploiting vulnerable actors through his immense influence. The complaint highlights systemic power imbalances in Hollywood, where aspiring talents face pressure to comply with gatekeepers to secure opportunities. The case challenges Perry's legacy as a pioneering black filmmaker, raising questions about accountability in an industry marred by allegations of coercion.